Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It is Monday, April 10th, and we are here starting off, I guess, a vacation week for a lot of people. A lot of schools are off. So if that's you, happy for you that you're off, or maybe it's not so easy to be off because sometimes that takes a lot of work. Anyway, if you're celebrating a week off, congratulations. If you're working like the rest of us, then welcome to the old grind. Here we are. It's I don't really love April, so I'm okay with that. Let's just grind through this. And Mark, I am planning, just so you know, to do a nice 3 weeks in August where I'm not going to be recording with you. And I know you'll miss hearing my voice, but that just means, you know what that means? Lots of work in advance.
It means even extra work. So 3 weeks in August, and then I know there's a couple weeks in October.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about my 2 weeks in October. We have 6 weeks that we got to get in the can right now. I don't know. I might not do that to you. I may just do it when we're in August because it's not that hard. And knowing that I have my October break, I may just say we'll just put a week or two maybe we'll put a week in the can. We'll see. Anyway, we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions, or maybe just try to understand what your priorities should be. You sometimes determine those priorities, but sometimes you kind of come in and you sort of say one thing and then we do a little conversation and then we get to a different place. And that's fine, right? We encourage you to just sort of say, I need a big picture approach. And Mark and I are both certified financial planners. We don't do it for a business. We just do it for the show. Mark, I did just get my continuing ed notice for CFP board, which at that moment I always say, well, do I really want to do this? And then I say, yes, of course. At some point I'll probably stop doing it, but I don't know, not for a while, right?
There's no way I'm letting that lapse. I put too much work into it.
I know. That's the thing. They really hook you in. And to do all the continuing ed is very much worth it. I sometimes like to do the continuing ed because it does let me brush up on certain things. And I'll tell you, I think this year I'm going to do a big push on annuities because I do think that my normal outlook of like annuities stink. It's not always the case. They are getting better. So I need to do a deeper dive and a refresher into the world of annuities. I'm going to do that. And then maybe I bet they have like a module on Secure Act 2.0. That's a good refresher also. So I try to take the coursework, not so much in the things that I know already, but the things that I think I need a little refresher on. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, that will help us guide you. And if you do have a financial question, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button and let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. Hey, for everybody who is a subscriber to the Jill on Money live service, if you missed the Ed Slott interview, the webinar, then you can get it. It's up. Karen put it up behind the paywall. And if you did not join us that night, you have access to it. If you subscribe to the new service, Jill on Money Live, for a whopping $35 for a year, that will allow you to go watch that webinar, which was a lot of fun. Don't you feel left out? Do you have fear of missing out? It'll cost you $35 to satisfy that. Okay. So you can get right back in it. All right. Now, everyone else, again, come on the air. It's fine. We love it. We love to talk to you. Today, we are joined by James, who is in the beautiful state of Utah. James, welcome to the program. What can we do for you today?
Good morning. Thank you. Well, so I've been listening to you guys for about 6 months now, and I really just enjoy your all-around demeanor, good nature, and greatly appreciate the knowledge and wealth that you share with your listeners. And because I don't have a financial planner or a retirement planner, I thought I'd reach out to you and give you some details about me and hear what you have to say about my idea of retiring next year at an early age of 58.
Ooh, wait a minute. You're 57?
I am 57 right now. Yes, 57 and a half, I like to say.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand. You want that half year. So 57 and a half sounds weirdly close to the age of a certain podcast host with whom you're having a conversation. So tell me, what is it about this time that makes you want to retire? Do you hate what you do? What's going on?
No, I don't. I don't really hate what I do, but I don't have a passion for it anymore.
Okay.
Unfortunately, 2 years ago, my wife suddenly passed away. And so, my whole life has changed, if you will. And so thank you for that. Putting that aside, I've just realized that I probably have wasted a good portion of my life on a career that I built that I loved and that I still have a little bit of interest in, but not as much anymore. So I think this time in my life, it's time to move on to my next journey, whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to decide financially, am I stable enough to actually take the leap and do that and not look back and not have to worry about the finances side, so I can get on with the next phase of my life.
I like that you say that move on to the next journey. As we like to say, financial independence, new or next endeavor. It's like the next thing. And I get that. That's really, I mean, by the way, that's my whole book was based on this, The Great Money Reset, because, you know, I think that the prompt of a surprising and horrible death, illness, divorce, anything like that, that makes you reprioritize. And like you said, you know, you might have, I'd hate for you to describe your career as something you did that was a waste of time. It was like, it made sense for the time you did it. And maybe let's see if you have a chance to shift your next chapter to do something different. So James, do you have children?
No children.
Okay. So right now, why don't you tell us a little bit about your financial stuff? Right now, how much do you earn?
So this year, my projected earnings will be $210,000.
Okay. And do you make a retirement contribution based off that $210,000?
I do. At the employer, we have a 401k program there, and I do the max that the company contributes. That's 4%.
So you just do up to 4% on that?
Yeah, I just do the 4% because that's the matching. And in my experience throughout all of my careers and employers who have had 401ks, getting the match is fine. And then I like to invest the rest of my money with my brokerage firm because I have more options.
All right, cool. So tell us, so how much money's in the 401k right now?
So right now, that 401k has $40,000.
Okay. And then do you have any old retirement accounts that like an IRA rollover or something?
I do, yes. I have a Fidelity, I have a brokerage rollover IRA that is currently at $1.4 million.
Wow. So that's the IRA rollover. Do you have a taxable account, a plain brokerage account?
I do. I have a brokerage account there as well. And that is currently at $860, with the majority of that being in cash at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the market last year kind of made everybody a little squeamish, right? So,
okay.
So I rolled over a lot of things into cash at the moment, which is one of my concerns that I'll ask you about.
All right. So 40, 1.4, 860. How about do you have an emergency reserve, a cash account? Do you have some I-bonds floating around? What do you have?
I do. Yeah. So I have a checking that's currently at 40. I keep roughly about 40K in there. And then I have a couple of various high interest savings account that totally have currently right now about 400K.
Mark, I thought he was going to say like, and another 40K, another 40K with a zero. Okay. Plus 4. So 440 in cash plus the bunch of cash in the brokerage account, right?
I'm sitting on a lot of cash. Yes.
All right. All right. Cash is not bad when you're making a big transition. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
What about any other asset that you have?
Well, I have an I-bond. You know, last year I did the whole series I-bond thing that we jumped on, and that was 10K. So I have that as well. Mm-hmm. Personal HSA that is currently at 10. I have an inherited IRA from when my mother passed away a couple of years ago. That's only at 42K.
How about where do you live? Do you own a home?
So I don't own the home that I'm in currently now, out in Utah. There's a mortgage on that for about 400K. That was a 30-year fixed, and I got lucky at the time. It's 3.25%. So that's not too bad.
Wait a minute. You do or you don't own? I thought you said you don't own. You do own.
I do own the house, but it has a mortgage on it.
So what's the house worth with a $400,000 cheap mortgage?
Yeah, so the market value on the house right now is about $1 million.
Okay. And you like it? You want to stay there?
For the time being, yes.
I feel like there's something possible there.
Well, there is. There's a relocation idea in my head, but I don't know where. I mean, this is paradise for the moment. Will it be paradise forever? I don't know. So it's a question.
All right. And is this the kind of place, just because it's Utah and I think of that place as such a beautiful place, is it a possible rental property?
It could be if I wanted to go down that. I don't know if I want that hassle.
I hear you.
I would probably just do it all. But I'm telling you, it's paradise. So
all right. Paradise sounds good to me. Okay. Now, James, if you look at your expenses on your $210,000, how much do you think you really need to live on?
So I did a projection from last year's expenses, and I'm somewhere monthly between 6 and 8K. And that includes the mortgage, and that also includes any trips that I might take, personal trips, vacation kind of things. I rolled all that in and just did an average out throughout the year, and it came out to about somewhere between 6 and 8K a month.
Okay. And what about, if you had to pay for insurance yourself, then right. So if you didn't have this job, we would have to maybe add another $1,000 into this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't calculated what the health insurance costs.
All right, let's say $9,000 a month just for the heck of it. I'll go the top end. Do you hear my dogs going crazy? I'm so sorry. Mark, you know what time it is. Now, are you entitled to any pension?
I do have a small pension from a previous employer. Around age 65, if I wait that long, that'll be about $1,000 a month. If I take it sooner than that for any reason, it would deduct, of course, from that. And that'll start about when I'm 65.
And if we look ahead, say Social Security, your full retirement age is 67. What's the Social Security amount that you could look at?
That's a good question. I'm sorry,
I'm guessing it's probably around. Mark, what do you think? 3,500? Is that fair?
Yeah, I would think so. 3,000, 3,500.
And also, since you mentioned Social Security, I also recently just found out that I am entitled to what's called a survivor's benefit. And I will use that, honestly, when it kicks in to fund the charities that were important in my life.
Do you know how much that would be and when you would be entitled to it?
Yeah, I'm told that could start at my age of 60, and it would be roughly $11,000 a year.
Okay, but we're going to use that for charity, maybe.
Yeah, that's my plan. In case you tell me that I'm in dire straits here.
I'm not telling you that. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you right now, you're not in dire straits. So when you say, you've got another year and then you want to do something else, maybe, right? You want another journey. What are you thinking about? What's your ideal?
So I'm really passionate about helping other people reach their full maximum potential in the workplace. So I've always been a good mentor, I believe, throughout my career, and that's something that I would be interested in. There's a couple of charities that I help. I would like to do more work in that and probably get on some boards of nonprofits and try to help them, in their financial situation as well. So there's things like that interest me, and that's kind of where I want to spend the majority of my time.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that doesn't sound like those pay very much.
Well, I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping that I'm going to be okay, right? And that I won't have to be
I hear you.
I can always get the part-time job at Costco, I guess, and be a really friendly door.
I know. So, okay, let's kind of think about this. So we need like phases of this project. Okay. So obviously in the next year, I like the idea that you've been stockpiling cash. That's great. But I'm thinking that once you are done with work, you will be 58 and a half or 59, right? About ish. You can obviously support yourself. You can spend so from 58 and a half to 59 and a half, you're going to burn up $100,000 of cash that you have. You're going to live on that, right? At 59 and a half, something interesting happens because that's when I think we'll probably get the money out of the retirement environment, is to start using the money from your IRA rollover, pull that out and pay the tax on it so that you can just start limiting the amount of money you'll have to take in minimum required distributions. And you should do that all before it starts to be your Medicare time. So right now, when you file, your highest tax bracket's 32. You go from like 32% as a highest bracket to probably closer to 22 because you have interest and dividends, et cetera. I'm thinking that maybe you could just take $100,000 a year or maybe $120,000 a year out of your IRA, okay, and pay the tax on it and live on that from 59 and a half until you get to your full retirement age, which is 67-ish. And then you're starting to pull the money out of that account. Although, Mark, don't I have to stop doing that because of IRMA? Let me think about that. So there are standard premiums for Medicare, and then there are Part B and Part D. So Medicare for Part B, that's your doctor visits, and Part D is prescription drug benefit. If you make too much money, the government will charge you an extra surcharge for this Medicare Part B and D. So let me give you an example. You'd be filing single, okay? Let's say that you do what I say, which is you take the $120,000 out of your retirement account in that year. If that were the case, you would have to pay an extra $78 a month for your Medicare. Not so bad. It's fine. Okay. But it's $1,000, right? So it's not chump change. But if we pull out too much money, then the numbers for IRMAA go up to the highest possible, which is like if I pulled out $500,000 all at once out of your retirement account, that would mean an extra $472 a month. So I want to be mindful that in this game plan that I'm concocting for you, that we may have IRMAA kick in later, meaning when you're at the Medicare age. Okay. Now, let's say we now have that money from 59 and a half to 67. And I'm not touching the money from your wife's Social Security yet. But then at 67, you will have, or 65, 67, you'll have this Social Security plus a small pension, right? So you'll have this $4,500 a month. And then we have to come up with the gap between what's coming in and what you need. So we need another $4,500 a month net to you. So what I'm looking at is this. We have all this money and you've got this 401k and, probably by the time you actually retire, it'll be $1.5 million, let's say, all in, right? If that kind of dwindles, I'm thinking that if we pull a bunch of money out of that each year from 59 and a half to 67, we're going to get down to we're going to cut that in half. That'll end up being $750,000 that'll be left in there, but we haven't touched your brokerage, which would be $860. We've reduced your cash by $100. That's $300. And so now I'm trying to figure out, are we going to make it for you? I think we can make it. So then we'll have $2 million left, which would create about $60,000 a year in income. When I play this out, I think you actually can do this. I think that your game plan could work. I don't think that it's not like a slam dunk and every year you work, it gets better. But I think you can make this work. The thing that we haven't done in this calculation, just so you know, is we have not touched your home. Okay. And if you thought, I'm done with paradise, let me see what hell looks like. If I've been in paradise, let me go to hell. I don't know where that would be for you. Maybe if you're a guy from Utah, it would be like the deep south that's sweaty
or New York City.
Or New York City. I mean, I don't know. We'd love to have you to come visit hell. It's not that bad. It really isn't. We love it. We love our hell. But if, you could maybe, if you thought about it and you really thought, I don't want to maintain a home. I want to do something different. You do have $600,000 of equity that you could do something with. I think this plan will work. I think there's a few different parts of it that could be maybe what I would do. Just, I don't want to disrespect your plan about your wife's survivor benefit, but a better plan that I would see is to use that $11,000 a year to just support yourself for now. And you can later start giving money from your retirement account, which is a really great place to gift. So I would be kind of holding back a little bit, and you can do some gifting, but I don't necessarily want you to not have that survivor benefit. If anything, if you had some stock that you wanted to gift to a charity, but cash is not a great gift for someone like you. If you have accumulated gains in a stock or a mutual fund, that would be a good thing to gift, or a QCD at 70 and a half, right? And then, obviously, if you were to get some other job, if you get passionate about mentoring and you're in a charitable organization, you say, actually, I want to work there, anything you can do to kind of get you health insurance between now and age 65 is helpful. But it's not a forced, I don't see that as a forced, necessary thing. There are people who come on the program and I'm like, go get yourself some health insurance. I don't see you are in that. So from my perspective and Mark's perspective, the situation you laid out is doable. You should be able to, in a year, actually make this shift. I know that there's a ton of money in cash, so I want to help you get that reinvested because you're going to need your money to grow. You don't if you had another $1 million tucked away somewhere else, I might not be as worried about that, but you're going to live a long life, hopefully. And, you could live for 35 years. And I need you right now, your cash, after you pay taxes on your cash, right? And you factor in inflation, you're losing money. We need you to refocus that and get your money reinvested. So how does this sound so far?
it sounds promising. Thank you very much. I was a little surprised that you didn't touch the cash sooner versus going right to the IRA, but it makes sense in that cash is losing me money. I'm very aware of that. I'm just sitting on the sidelines, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, so the reason why I'm really thinking about that IRA is that I'm seeing a way for you to reduce your future required minimum distribution and to manage your tax liability. You right now, as a single person, your highest tax bracket is 32%. So if we can get your money out at 22 or 24%, that's kind of juicy for me. That's like a big savings. When you think about the future, if we don't touch the retirement account, okay, and we burn up your cash, what you're going to end up having is you will have $4,500 a month of income, and you will have some money from brokerage, but you're going to be forced to pull money out of your retirement account. So if you think about it, check this out. This is another one of Ed Slott's handy dandy tables that I love. This is how we figure out the lifetime table. So if we don't touch the IRA rollover, pretend it grows for now another 15 years. Give me the number on that. For 15 years from now, what's the amount? What's the account value? Right now it's let's call it 1.5 because he'll have another year. So let's say $1.5 million for 15 years. Do it at 5%, just for the heck of it.
3.1.
Okay. So check this out, dude. James, when you get to age 75, you have to pull out 4% of that a year. That's $124,000. So that $124,000 is on top of the $4,500 a month that's taxable to you through your pension, right? There's a pension plus the Social Security. So now I've got 124, 1, 2, 3. And so now you have $178,000 of income in the future. All right. And right now, based on today's tax rates, that puts your highest taxable rate at 24%. And yet I would even say this, I'm not even sure it'll be that. Tax rates are more likely to go up than down from here. So I'd rather you pay the tax now, lock that 24% in today. I think that would be, I don't know. I truly believe that that's going to be a better outcome for you and you'll control your tax liability.
Yeah, and tax liability is not something that I spend a lot of time on. So I'm listening to you and I appreciate that knowledge that you're sharing with me.
First of all, I think that when you go through this tragic thing called loss of spouse, you are right to try to understand and sort of gain a new equilibrium. I'm going through this with my friend Andrea. It's like you're sort of at sea, you've lost your person. You now need to figure out like what you are here. And now it's what's next. And I usually have found that with many people in this situation, what's next is not what I've done for the last 30 years. So I get it. I also think that you are fortunate that you and your wife saved a lot of money during your lives and you've put yourself in this situation where you can do something different. So I think that you can do this. I really do. I'll just do a few extra things here at the end, which is you've just gone through this process of settling an estate. Now, do you have your own estate documents done? You don't have children. Where's all your money going? Charity?
Yes, all of it is earmarked to go to our charities.
That's awesome. Good for you. What else can we do for you?
So I have a question about the unpaid mortgage. I'm sitting on this cash and I'm getting ready to retire, and I'm always told that you should own your house before you retire.
Who said that? That is okay. You ready for this? Here comes your very official term. That is baloney. Okay. You thought I was going to say a bad word. I know you did. That is true. Let's pretend that you had a 9% 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Yeah, of course. Pay it off. This is a 3.25% note. Absolutely do not pay it off. That cash is gold for you. That brokerage account is going to help you build your future. And if you pay off this house, the house that you're not even sure you're going to keep, you rob yourself of that liquidity and the plan won't work as well. It really won't. And then you might be forced to sell this rather than be in a situation where, well, I might want to keep it. You may want to keep it. So no paying off the mortgage. Negative.
let the cash work for me in the future.
Yeah, except don't sit around in cash. So how are we going to get you reinvested? Can you do this yourself? Are you on top of it? Are you going to dollar cost average? What are we doing?
I like to think I'm pretty smart when it comes to that. I'm just, there's a time right now. The last year has been hard, and there's a time to jump back in. And
yeah, you tell me that time, since nobody knows how to time the market. So you just let us know when you ring the bell when it's time to get back in. That's a New York sarcasm for you, buddy.
No, I got you. Nobody knows, and I'm coming back in slowly but surely.
I agree with you. I don't even know when now is, but now is what I could say is that when you're sitting on a whole bunch of, usually people time the market by accident. You know how like they say, it was shocking. I just happened to sell all of my portfolio out at the end of 2021 because I was buying a house or I had to pay a tuition bill. And like, that's the accidental market timer. Otherwise, it doesn't really work, James. So get that money to work and don't look back. Keep us posted, and we wish you the best of luck. I'm very sorry for your loss. So I think that you and your wife put you in a place to do something different, and go ahead and get it. Keep us posted. Take lots of pictures along the way and let us know how it goes, okay?
Oh, thank you so very much. I will.
If you are like James and you're looking for a great money reset, also the name of my book, you can just buy the book, or you can let us know if we can help you out. You go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Check the box if you would like to come on the air. Again, links to the Great Money Reset are right on the front door of the website, as is our new service, Jill on Money Live. Okay, that's it. Lift someone up today, someone like James who needs a little lift. Will you please? Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.